And a great big hey howdy hey to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic with Comic Auzi.
And DF, salam, and good evening to you, my friends. And that's the most I'm gonna get for this one, because I don't want to offend people too much.
It's very apt. Tonight we are watching the 1992 classic Aladdin, which, as you can see now in the corner, I've updated a lot of the stuff over there, and it says, rightly so, that there is a warning in front of the movie on Disney Plus. Which...
Yeah, you remember the 90s when people were trying to be woke, but they weren't exactly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting because, I did end up looking at the, live action one to see if there was a warning on that one, and there is not. As if to...
Interestingly enough, and because in that they actually do have some brown washing, not with the main cast, but with some of the background people. They up some brown facing. I mean, brown face. Did I say brown washing? I'm sorry. Ugh, it's been a long day.
Anyway, yeah, but like, which is weird. You know, it'd be like if they put a warning on their live-action Mulan because they filmed near concentration camps. But let's not worry about that right now. Because we're not talking about that problematic thing. We're talking about this movie, which has some problematic elements because, well, like...
some being an understatement.
I guess, as I pointed out in, like, The Little Mermaid just last week, it's the 90s... In the 90s and even into the early to mid-2000s, it was still kind of the Wild West of what was or wasn't considered, like, really terribly racist. And it's like... And it's like, it didn't really stop people.
I haven't been able to watch this movie the same way ever since in my religious studies minor, I took a class on Islam. And there was one part where the professor went through this whole thing about why Aladdin is like, oh God, jeez.
Why
being a
why Aladdin?
White kid, I had no idea.
Why Aladdin? What?
Why Aladdin is offensive and Islamophobic?
Right. Yeah, because your audio is getting all blah 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 a little bit there.
I switched back. You should be able to hear me.
I don't know. It just went a little stuttery, staticky.
Hang on a second.
Okay.
Okay. Fine.
And there she goes. She's back. Hello.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
There we go.
How was that?
That
we
went
good
well.
Now?
That went well.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that, yes, pretty much my professor detailed why Aladdin is highly Islamophobic, and I've never been able to watch this movie the same way again. Also haven't been able to watch this movie the same way again since our beloved Robin Williams passed away. So
yeah, God rest his
this
soul.
movie invokes a whole array of feelings now.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any, I don't have much information in the way of its disrespect of the Islamic, faith and whatnot. But I will be able to...
Oh, Arab specifically.
Arab specifically.
Yeah.
But, like, Ann Gilbert, God rest his soul, too. God, so many people.
Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is my first time watching this since he died, and that was very recent.
That was very recent.
Okay, at the very least, the voice acting performances are pretty great, even if there's not a single Arab actor in the cast.
Not a one. Not one.
Not a one. Not a one. Not even for the animals.
Nope. Nope. Abu has...
Animals I can forgive, though, because they're animals.
Yeah, Gilbert Gottfried, very much white, and Frank Welker as Abu, very much white. Like...
But again, animals that... the animals can be any fucking race they want.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Animals.
I wouldn't be surprised if Frank Welker also did a bunch of growls and grunts for Raja.
I think he did, yeah.
Just get Frank Welker in a trash can.
He's also one of the few actors to actually reprise his role in live action remakes. I'm just making that point there because Frank Welker, animal voices. So
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I'll be able to talk about how this movie is a testament to like great animation, and maybe even how what Robin Williams said about it was true, and even in the racist ways about how it is a Warner Brothers cartoon in Disney drag. Because like yeah, if you watch a bunch of those old Warner Brothers cartoons, there were some racist jokes in them, along with all the fun wacky hijinks. So it's like, yeah, this is Warner Brothers cartoon in Disney drag, but. Anyway, I think it's fair to.
I will say, story-wise, they do improve upon the original story because if you know what Aladdin's like in the original story, he's pretty creepy.
And barring that, another funny little thing just before we get into it, is that the Aladdin tale that we know was actually written by a French person. It wasn't
translated by a French person.
No. Like it wasn't actually a part of the original Arabian Nights tales. Yeah. It was added by whoever translated the stories. He just added that
and the story
whole cloth. The story of Aladdin like did not come from the original Arabian Nights tales.
And it also might have originated from China or somewhere around there.
So we've got a whole lot of cultural hand-me-downs in this whole grab bag of a movie. The characters are drawn like supermodels like in your American magazine with just.
It wasn't Aladdin like okay, I can't remember whether he was modeled after Tom Cruise or Tony Hawk. He was one of the T's.
See, that's the funny thing. It was like I think it was like it was like
and Jasmine was modeled animator's daughter, who was very much white.
Yeah, that's the thing. Squad and writer are correct. Like the thing is, like Howard Ashman and Alan Menken, God rest his soul, by this time, really kind of pegged Aladdin to be more of a Michael J. Fox character, but Jeffrey Katzenberg wanted him to be more like Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
So yeah,
ironically though, we'd get Michael J. Fox in a later movie, which we'll get into later,
we would.
later.
much later. But yeah, so basically we got pretty boy white faces on these brown characters. Kind of get a yikes.
Who are also very much on the lighter side.
In a town with buildings that less resemble Arabia and more resemble Mediterranean Turkey by way of Las Vegas.
At least they claim that it's a made up kingdom.
Yeah, because they say Arabian Nights, but aside from Agrabah, they never name any real locations. So it's like, and Agrabah's made up anyway. Like, does it actually mean anything in like any Arab language at all?
I don't know. I can't tell you for sure. What do you mean any Arab language?
Aren't there multiple languages in the area of like Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Iran, and all that, the Middle East, where this movie is supposedly taking place?
Okay. Anyway, let's. Yes.
Maybe Agrabah is a grab bag of many different things.
Wow.
Anyway.
Unless you go with, there's also this theory that Aladdin actually doesn't take place in the past, but in the far future where civilization was destroyed and then it rebuilt itself. And that's why the Genie makes a lot of references to modern times.
Someone tell that to Merlin from like months ago.
Maybe they're in the same universe.
Who knows?
And just like a couple centuries later.
Well.
And also it would explain why because Hercules is in the same Aladdin verse, and
it's very pop cultural.
Hercules has a lot of modernish stuff.
It's a very pop culturally reverent movie, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, now I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and open up the movie. Everyone should get past the warning on Disney Plus or grab your DVD copy, and depending on what you got going on, we're gonna go ahead and start the Agra and Ba are two neighboring cities of non-Arabian country of India. Ironically, Agrabah's Sultan Palace also resembles the Taj Mahal. Well, yeah, it does resemble the Taj Mahal a bit.
I mean, India has quite a high Muslim population, so and actually, the 1001 Nights isn't strictly Arabian. It's like that whole Middle Eastern and some Southern Eastern of Asia.
Yeah, because like the Middle East is like on the, well, it's called the Middle East, but isn't like most of it in Asia? So wouldn't that make it the Middle West?
If Fizzy's asking about the Aladdin and Hercules thing, it was a crossover episode in the spin-off series. So.
In the Hercules series specifically, which I think like was aired after the Aladdin series had ended and the Aladdin and the King of Thieves movies had wrapped up.
Because in that one, Jasmine and Aladdin were married. So
yeah,
so it was definitely after.
But anyway,
the third movie.
But this is one hell of a preamble to finally get to the show. So everyone,
people are adding so much stuff. I'm sorry.
I know. So everyone, get your copy ready. I have the classic '90s logo in front of it. So everyone, keep that in mind as we begin in 3, 2, 1, go. Wait, no, hang on. That didn't work for some reason.
I was like, there was no flashing.
Hang on.
What do you know? No flashing warning.
Hang on. I can fix it. Hang on. Let me just, hang on.
You died.
I didn't die. I did it on purpose.
Thou art dead. I know, I'm joking. Yeah, while we're talking, while it is disappointing that there's not a single Arab or let alone Asian person in the cast, at least the performances are pretty in where voice acting is concerned.
Yeah.
There is a reason that Jonathan Freeman was brought back for the Broadway show, though I'm kind of questioning whether that was a moral choice in our modern day.
Oh, I don't know. Jafar, the potential invading British guy, so it would make sense why he's white.
I get okay.
Also, his voice is kind of British in this movie anyway, in the role. Anyway.
Because British sound evil.
I mean, to Americans.
I'm kidding.
All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into it all right, everybody have the copy ready, and we're beginning in 3, 2, 1. 90s logo. It's good to see this logo every time. Every time.
Yeah. And you know, the reason Jafar is British, because originally they were going for Patrick Stewart, but he couldn't because of Star Trek The Next Generation, and he regretted not taking this role.
Well,
okay.
There you go.
Give credit, there's a reason this won Best Original Score again.
Yeah, it's just really stellar music. It isn't that Hollywood, like, it sounds vaguely ethnic kind of vibe, but, like, I mean, it works.
Yeah, you can hear the kind of voice change here because of the changed line. Originally it was when they cut off your ear because they don't like your face. Ugh.
Yeah.
Sorry, Howard Ashman, you don't win points on that one.
Probably not. Probably not. God, if it ain't pretty, though. Look at that castle.
It took me forever to know that this was Robin Williams.
See, the thing is,
he wasn't credited as the all right, Musker and Clements again.
Yep. Back from
really
the Little
spent much
Mermaid.
time on the credits on this one.
Well, yeah, that's true. Little Mermaid definitely had a lot of preamble, and there were like no opening credits for Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know, not really a spoiler,
And yes,
but
Squad, you are right.
Well,
That singing voice is absolutely not Robin. Like, I'm noticing it's very different than Robin's singing voice, and we'll get to that. But this, yeah, he's not really credited as the merchant here.
but
The whole reason being that they would reveal it at the end that it was the genie telling the story. And that would make clear that
Oh my
this.
god, they actually say
Lawrence.
hookah. How did I never notice that?
I mean, it looks like a hookah.
Yeah, Robin Williams
Actually,
really had.
calling-
He ended up swearing a lot in these.
Yeah. What's even funnier is that it's done in the same way as the Mad Hatter back in Alice in Wonderland, where he's actually on a soundstage with a bunch of props and just fucking around.
Okay, I do love how in the Broadway show, well, and the live action remake, that they do go with the original idea that the merchant was revealed to be the genie in the end.
Yeah, I definitely will agree with that.
The Arabian Nights, yeah.
And I can say that because I actually watched the live action version earlier. I'll say that there were bits that I liked and bits that I didn't like, and I didn't altogether hate it, and that's when I'm going to leave it at for now, because we're talking about this movie.
Okay, but I was saying how, like, the future reiterations went with their original idea that the merchant was going to reveal to be the genie.
Yeah, because it's kind of obvious.
I also find it funny that Jonathan Freeman and Monroe Earhart ended up both being hell of a boss at some point. James Monroe Earhart, if people don't know, was the genie on Broadway.
Yep.
And I believe he did win the Tony for that, right?
Most likely. Like, if a Disney musical didn't win a Tony for anything, like, you'd be completely shocked, right?
Gilbert Gottfried, whoever had the idea, hey, let's have a parrot and let's get the most annoying voice we can from Hollywood.
From what I've heard, it's because
I say annoying in a loving way.
It's like he's intentionally exaggerating his natural voice to sound more annoying than he actually is. Much like other comedians, like Jim Carrey does that a little bit too, and well, Robin Williams actually did it too. God rest his soul. Kitty cave. How many of us confuse this cave for a lion instead of what it obviously is, a tiger? Because like, because it is a tiger when you actually take a minute to look at it longer. But I always thought that the frills on the side were a lion's mane instead of like. And you can just compare the lion to Raja later, and like
they transition. I love how they transition from just him going lamb and just, geez, where'd you pick this bozo up? Like that is so clever the way to do that. Like, I think it's just annoying repeating parrot, but then he's like, proves to be intelligent.
Now, at least as far as Disney movies are concerned, this is the first CGI character. Like, sure,
this alongside the carpet.
Well, no, that's not actually true, and I'll get to that when we get to that. But on the topic of caps...
You're saying the carpet's not a character?
No, the carpet is a character, but the carpet is not using CGI, and I'll explain that when we get there.
It's listed as a character using CGI.
Well, see, it's kind of half and half. But I'll address that when we get there.
Boy.
But like, as far as the
I would have really liked to see how they did this cave on Broadway.
I saw the show at Hyperion.
I didn't.
Like supposedly the animators really liked the like Gilbert Gottfried's perform in Beverly Hills Cop, and so they were like, yeah, let's bring him on as an obnoxious parrot. And was this the first bird that Gilbert Gottfried ever voiced? Because it would become a trend in animation. I got the subtitles on. Apparently he says, I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from that surprise. I always heard, I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from not surprised. I don't know why.
Jim Cummings.
Yep.
Cummings.
So Scott Wagner, who was DJ's boyfriend on Full House around this time,
where he came from. Okay.
He lied at the audition that he could sing. But what's also so shocking is that...
And that's why we got someone else.
But what's so shocking is that unlike the Robin Williams...
Brad...
unlike the Robin Williams example from earlier, where when you hear it enough times, you notice that it's not the same guy. It's Brad Kane. Thanks, Blueheart.
Brad Kane. I knew it was a Brad something.
Yeah. And then here's the transition.
Abound.
And it sounds pretty close. Like, I think they did a really good job voice matching here.
Yeah, they really did.
And also really point out that whole Warner Brothers in Disney drag vibe. Like,
Well,
there's a lot of,
I made a mistake. I made a mistake. There's one Asian actor. I mean, not Middle Eastern Asian, but it's the singing voice of Jasmine. I forgot.
Ah.
Yeah, she's Filipino. So a little further east.
A little. And maybe this is one of the reasons that this gets a warning on Disney Plus. Well, one of many.
Yes.
Because this is
This would be
evidently
an unfortunate. Yes.
a
This would be
brothel.
an unfortunate trend in the '90s. Not just from Disney, but like every time we got a woman of color in animation, they're heavily
Sexualized. Yeah, very much. And really,
yes.
to-
And there's nothing wrong with showing them in revealing clothing, but it's not even accurate to the time.
again, it's very much like Mediterranean by way of friggin' like Las Vegas. Like, even the Fez isn't really like a Arabian thing, it's more Turkish.
And I love how they make fun of that in the Broadway show. And that Fez, what are you, a Shriner?
And there's another Fez. God. But, like, look at all the zippy animation, and everyone is a comedy character. That's very much like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Filipina's spelled with a PH, right?
Yeah. Actually,
Maybe I'm wrong.
actually, no. I think when they say, I mean, Philippines is PH, but I think Filipino with an F.
Because that's somewhere else.
Yes, you guys know Jasmine's singing voice, Lea Salonga. You'll know her as the singing voice of Mulan.
Didn't Lea Solana do Mulan's voice completely? Or
No,
just the singing voice?
She was going to. Okay, we're not there yet. No.
Yeah, we're not there
It's just
yet.
a singing voice. I'll go into the story there when we get to that movie. Okay, so here's
Also-
how you get us to like a thief.
Yes,
You
okay,
show
like,
this.
it's not even that. Like, into comparison, like, this is the much better place to put this moment, right after the song. We've had this moment of introducing, like, via the Genie, but we don't know, that we're gonna sing in this movie with Arabian Nights and setting up the vibe and the tone. Then Aladdin sings his opening number, but it's not really an I want song yet.
Yeah,
not yet.
Yeah, it's showing off his skills pretty much.
And this
It's
is
showing
where
off his parkour.
and which I think parkour was actually pretty big at the time.
Okay,
so it was like it was kind of a new thing.
On Aladdin's side, they're those two right there. Those are
Musker and Clements,
director
and
characters,
I think
yes.
they're also voiced by Musker and Clements in this instance. That
And this
horse
is
looks very
like a character
cartoony.
Who's kind of on the wrong side of the law. Yeah, but he does care for those who can't stand up for themselves.
Yeah. Also, if you listen to this, you can hear a bit of Captain Hook, and that's because Corey Burton voices this one-off character here.
Really?
Yeah. It was like I was having a moment. I was playing the movie just to test things out with OBS earlier, and it was like, oh, that's Corey Burton. And then I look it up on IMDb, and it's like, yep, Prince Ahmed, Corey Burton. He also does another one-off character in this movie, but I forgot who that was.
Oh boy.
And this is
Nathan,
where
Fizzy
Aladdin's
call-
I Want song comes
Nathan-
in.
Nathan Fizzy called you out about the spelling of Filipina. She's like, you're talking to someone who is half Filipina, guys.
Sorry.
She called you out.
Yeah.
Look, I know it was with an F.
And this is...
Okay, so Howard Ash's song, Proud of Your Boy, that he was meant to sing about his mom, back when Aladdin's mom was still
You're
in the
cutting.
movie.
You're cutting out again. I know. But yeah, Proud of Your Boy was a song that was brought back for the Broadway show. But in
Which
order
I'm
to,
glad they did.
yeah, and to bring forth that notion here of like Alan Menken being the one to have to make these choices, and of course, One Jump being a song that he wrote with Tim Rice, because the only songs that Howard Ashman was responsible for are Arabian Nights, Friend Like Me, and Prince Ali. So Tim Rice is the lyrical partner for the
Here,
yeah.
here is Dorson again. Like I said, there's not a single Arab actor in this cast, but the voice, in terms of performance, they did a really good job.
Yeah. Also, it's like Jasmine has this squeaky voice, and in a way, it's very soft.
Linda
but like
Larkin.
Linda Larkin, that's just what she sounds like.
It really is. She after this movie, she got recognized so much. Like she'd just be in the supermarket, and they're like, "Why do I know your voice?"
It's because it's a very distinctly squeaky voice. It's very small. It's a very small, delicate voice that is so distinct. It's kind of like the actress for
father. Now here's another father I like.
Yeah, it's kind of like the voice of like.
He is.
Yeah, it's kind of like the voice of Lisa Simpson. Her voice actress is also just very distinct voice.
Okay, now answer me this, and I know a lot of people complain about this in the remake. Why aren't there any freaking servants in this palace? Not even a handmaiden for Jasmine.
In the remake, I think I saw like one handmaiden, and then like here, there's none. Yeah,
but then, like at least have some servants in the background. Hello, I mean they talk about servants and valets, but you don't see anybody but Jafar.
I think the
Sultan and Jasmine.
the
guards.
I think the only slave servants and flunkies we see in this movie are in the Prince Ali number, carrying the whole entourage. Now that's a way to introduce a character.
Look creepy. Yeah.
Love how he's backlit there.
They already showed us that he's a shady guy, and then they introduce him as this.
That is true. That is true. But like, now we like know his role in that he's not just some guy. He's actually in the palace.
You know,
that's kind of what makes this a bit of a reveal.
Recently, I listened to this audiobook series called The Vampire Wish, and it's like. I mean, it's pretty much the story of Aladdin, but it's gender reversed and it's with vampires. It's like a magic ring that grants wishes with the spirit of a witch in it. So it's so interesting for me to watch now. But it felt like it was more based on the Disney movie version of Aladdin than the actual Aladdin.
A fun fact for the from Blue Heart just a little bit ago is that Jasmine was designed after Mark Hen's sister. Mark Hen being the animator who designed and worked on Jasmine, like as the supervising, like the lead animator. So.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I have a question that I never really understood. He can hypnotize the Sultan, right? Why the hell does he need the lamp?
See, the thing is that I think the reason why is because he has to, like, I mean, it comes back later, but, like, about how he has to do that in private, otherwise, someone would find him out, because he's repeating in a monotone voice, and it's like, with that, it's like, he'd become too much of a puppet, somebody would find out, and, like, be, like, very suspicious of it.
Yeah. Or maybe, and maybe like I don't think he can hypnotize the masses too.
And further yet, his goal is to surpass the Sultan, not just be a puppet master. He doesn't want to be a stooge in any way. He wants to be in charge. Like he said, he wants to be Sultan, not that addle-pitted twit.
Okay, so Jasmine is the start in our string of women who just they're like, I don't want to be forced to get married. I want to live my own life.
And give her some credit. She tries for it. There's Jim Cummings again. Just doing a lot of characters just in the background and
I
such.
love listening to the French version where Frank Welker is like, au revoir.
That's great.
I think he does that in like several different languages.
Oh, actually,
Sugar dates and pigs. Sugar dates
this
and
is Corey
fish.
Burton. That's the other voice Corey Burton has with the necklace guy. These designs may not all be very sensitive. They are very fun designs though. Like, I love everyone's facial hair and their yeah.
Okay, it's much cuter than how they meet in the story. I'll get into it in a second. For first,
Yeah. And here's another nice character moment. Like, we already know she's sweet, but she's super kind.
and naive because she doesn't
And
know
a
how
bit
money
naive
works.
too.
She's been closed off all her life.
Yeah.
Okay, now this part, the whole hand cutting off thing, culturally insensitive.
Yeah, very culturally insensitive. Just also, to get into animation, woof. Now that's some fun. Like, again, every character is like with the exaggerated comedy animation, and it doesn't discriminate. Even our main pretty leads of Aladdin and Jasmine are, you know, allowed to have cartoony over the top animation. Like, look at this. How other Disney princesses would they draw with that stupid grin and dead-eyed expression? Just
yeah,
it's so
Aladdin
funny.
and Jasmine, I love what they do with them as a couple. Because while their relationship doesn't get to the healthiest of starts, the way they play off each other and just work together is so great. They're a great team.
Yeah.
And I love Iago because he's like one of the henchmen that proves to be just about as evil as his boss.
Indeed.
At the beginning, of course, yeah. Like, he's definitely not a stupid henchman.
No, he's definitely a smart one. Ouch. I love that upper lip on him. On Jafar, that upper lip could just could have its own zip code.
This is how you do a meet cute.
Yeah. They meet and it's cute.
You know, it's more than just a little. It's more than. I mean, there's a little bit of crush at first sight, but then, you know, with the way they interact with each other, it's so cute.
Yeah.
Like, there's just instant chemistry.
Yeah. Oh, look at her reaction to him saying that.
This is when she's not in it up. Now, see there, like, it's more than just a pretty face thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, I met my match.
It's a pretty shabby place. But another thing to talk about the animation, we can't look for celluloid drop shadow anymore, but we can look for boiling lines. Boiling lines pretty much whenever a line is redrawn, and what's much fun to look for is when you can see a character has a body part moving, and check the body parts that aren't moving. Are there boiling lines or are they static? It's like...
We saw none of them, by the way. I'm gonna keep harping about that. It's like the emptiest palace I've ever seen.
That is true, Blueheart. Glenn Keane is the lead animator for Aladdin, and Eric Goldberg, first time on a proper Disney production, is the lead animator on the Genie. Like, he was with the Richard Williams London studio on Roger Rabbit, but then he eventually migrated to Disney Studio for some of their later productions, like, well, Aladdin. But to talk about Eric Goldberg is to talk about the person who basically designed the movie. Because the thing is, something you'll notice about the boiling lines in this movie is that they boil a lot more than even our previous film in a way. And that's because the line art on the characters using caps is like, they're not just using the standard line width, and they're adding extra lines on top of it to give it that kind of ink brushstroke look, similar to Al Hirschfeld caricatures. Which, like, is definitely a big influence on the Genie's design, and his animation.
Okay, so I want to go with how they met in the original story. It's actually pretty creepy. So this is after Aladdin's already found the lamp. But one day the princess is going into town to visit the baths, and everyone's told to clear the streets. But Aladdin ignores this rule, and he spies on the princess while she's in the baths.
Oof.
Yeah. Oh, and it gets better.
That's a great line.
One of the
read.
wishes Aladdin makes, and this is it was multiple wishes in the story.
Right.
One of the wishes he makes is to bring the princess to the desert, and he climbs under the blanket with her, and uses a genie magic to make sure she doesn't say anything about what happened to her.
Horrible.
And yeah, and I'm like, what the hell is this? So if some of you think Aladdin's bad for lying in this story, he was way worse than
I didn't even think he was wrong for lying, and we'll get there when we get there.
oh yeah. I'm like, yeah.
We completely talked over it, but Gilbert Gottfried's most likely ad-libbed bit about being stuck in the door was really fucking funny.
I bet Gilbert Gottfried, because I heard that he kind of sounded intimidated, because Robin Williams is also in this, but then there'll be a line that comes up that Robin Williams actually laughed at, and that really made Gilbert Gottfried stay.
I mean, I don't... The thing is, Robin Williams, like... Eric Goldberg's, like, highlight was when they showed Robin Williams the test animations for the Genie, and he laughed at Eric Goldberg's animations of it, and it was like, that honestly made Eric's day just brilliantly.
Because nobody adds their names in these Disney movies.
Yeah.
I mean, Belle didn't even learn the Beast's name for a very long time.
Yeah.
And they were together for
At least a week. I mean, we'll be honest with ourselves, right? Like...
Okay, so there's if you listen to this, there's 2 reasons why Aladdin lies. Now, one is because, he's not actually a prince, and there's a law. And 2, it's because, he says, like, I must sound so stupid to her. He doesn't think he's worth anything as he is.
Yeah.
I mean, we know why he lies to
also,
Sultan,
right here, actually,
Jasmine,
in that lie angle,
part.
like, here's some foreshadowing to that lie right now.
Yeah, right here.
And not that line. Not that line. This line.
Yeah, yes.
Good lord.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Great minds think alike.
And here's a testament to Jonathan Freeman's character acting.
I mean, and he does it that you can't even tell it's him at all until...
I do love the whole bit that comes up here.
Yeah, which is why I wasn't able to recognize his other voice in Hell of a Boss.
There's a little...
Credits. Yes.
That's a great bit. There was a little animation color error on Abu's face when it was like lit up red by the rubies when he took the rubies away. Also, that's a great smile.
I mean, Jafar
it's
$1
million
Jafar
smile.
went all out on this disguise, even the fake teeth. Because we don't got the same teeth.
Yeah, because his teeth aren't like that. That's true. And here's what's even funnier. It's like, I'd imagine Jafar is actually bald, probably. Because we never see him without that hat, like, at any other time.
No, we see later that he actually is bald like that.
But, like...
we'll see in a sec. We'll see in a minute.
But what's really great is that they also still use... like signifying character features like his lips and his nose to be able, and his eyes, his yellow eyes.
Okay, so there's two rules to the Cave of Wonders that are just inconsistent in this movie. The first is that only one. Okay, there's this one, but. So first, it said only one can enter the cave, but Abu's able to enter the cave, so it doesn't apply to animals. That means Jafar could have at any time sent Iago in to get the lamp.
See, you think that, but Abu was scared and hiding in Aladdin's vest. So you never really know if the... Because the thing is, the Cave of Wonders isn't a god. He's looking at what's in front of him. And if he can't see the monkey, he can't see the monkey.
No, because he can feel what's going on inside of him. I mean, he crashed when... And he could feel that Gazim wasn't worthy and all that.
Yeah, he knew that. But that
he can feel what's going on inside of him, too. So he got the sense of who's in there.
I think he at least...
And where they are.
I think he at least knew the forbidden treasure was touched.
Yes, which goes into the other rule that doesn't make sense. They say touch nothing but the lamp, and yet they've touched the carpet.
The carpet's not part of the forbidden treasure, clearly. Like, there's answers for everything.
Maybe because the carpet's alive, it doesn't apply? I'm not sure.
So if they met a gold statue, they could totally bring him with him as long as he was like, hey, my name is the gold statue. I'm voiced by Tim Allen. I don't know.
Yeah, that wasn't the best Tim Allen impression. No. I don't know what that was. But they made it make even less sense in live action when he touched a bunch of coins. I'm just saying. They did nothing to fix that plot.
They clearly weren't thinking about that. They were thinking about other things that people felt were more important to the story. Because the thing is, I don't think anyone...
The Broadway version, we didn't have a boo, and also the carpet came later in the story. So the Broadway didn't have that plot hole problem.
But now that we're here with the carpet, I'd like to address the CGI thing. So like, the thing is, the carpet is very clearly a 2D animated character, but the thing is that with Caps, program, they're able to map...
Fizzy's got a better argument. Jafar just doesn't trust his bird. Yeah.
I mean...
Knowing Iago and how grabby he is.
That's entirely fair.
Anyway, so go back to what you're saying.
As I was saying, basically the carpet is 2D animated, but the carpet's designed as a pre-painted texture, and then they're able to texture map that. You'd be able to do the same thing in Photoshop, essentially. You'd be able to texture map map it to the animation and make it warp, which kind of gives it this faux CGI effect because, well,
Here comes the iconic shot.
It is a computer like
there
effect.
There we go. The iconic shot.
Right there.
Such a simple thing he's doing too.
It's just appraising it. And the thing is, we did establish early on, as far back as like the bread, that Abu is the more selfish of these two. It's just interesting they're also using Caps to mimic like the effect on Monstro from Pinocchio, where they kind of make the melting statue and the lava here look like it's painted with like, with like their gouache on glass or whatever it was they were doing.
All out on this sequence here.
They really look at how much they're painting, and it looks like the lava is doing the same thing as carpet. They just have like a flat pre-painted texture, and they're warping it, and it looks CG. But look, you can see that that there's cartoon outlines on the lava. The lava's not actually CGI, but the cave here is CGI. That is a fully computer-generated cave.
It's like after Beauty and the Beast decided, okay, this works, so let's use it as much as possible.
Yeah. I love how they're and I love how they're using lighting on, like, textured rock work. Love that shot. It's so simple. It's like a Chuck Jones joke where you just have as little of the face move as possible and then make it as funny as possible. I love how all the gold just bursts into pillars of flame. And the hands of fire?
Wow. Oh,
how long does it take anyone to notice that? Because, like, that's just... God.
I did not notice hands bit before, actually.
Also,
there's always something new.
Also, a poor choice on the live-action version to just try to mimic these shots of, like, the opening of the cave in both directions. Because, like, no, just do something original that would look better in live-action. Because, like...
The cave wasn't as impressive as it should have been.
No, it was just carved in the side of a wall. It could have been a stage prop, for all we know, as it were. And here's the facade. The facade drops. Not that Aladdin recognizes that voice in the slightest, or that he'll know that it's the same guy because he'll be looking for a hunchback old man later.
Exactly.
So it's like, even if he gives the voice away, nobody would know. And he gets knocked unconscious here for a minute, so, like, yeah.
And have you seen a villain in disguise? No.
Have you seen this man?
All the villains in disguise. Now look, see, he is actually bald.
Yeah. That's a really good beard, though.
It's like the most normal we see Jafar, you know what I mean?
It's the nude look of Jafar.
And see, I love the Sultan. Yeah, he is kind of pushing hard on the tradition thing, but, you know, he does really care for his daughter.
Now, I think you can see it right here, like, on the edge of his sleeve and the edge of his, I want to say turban, but his hat. It's not really... I mean, it's not like a wrap turban, like, if it is. Anyway, but, like, you can see, like, the thicker line art to mimic shadows, like, right there on the elbow of his sleeve. Yeah. It's like, you can see this whole... And they would actually... I think they would bring that to Hercules because of the aesthetic in that movie as well, but we're not there yet. Sneaky monkey.
Yeah, I know. We talked about, like, when we were watching The Thief and the Cobbler, not on this channel, but how Aladdin kind of ripped off of that, and then Thief and the Cobbler ripped off of this. But honestly, the characters are a lot less static in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Richard Williams definitely pushed more in The Thief and the Cobbler for the impressive, the bigness, and making the characters feel solid, whereas this movie...
Anyway, here we go!
Goes for cartoony.
And that is how you introduce a show-stopping character.
Yep. And to be honest, if they had left Robin Williams out of the advertising, this would have been a big applause moment from the audience, right? Because they wouldn't know he was coming. And the thing is, Robin Williams didn't want this film to show up his film that was coming out at the same time, and he wanted people to see this movie because they thought it was a good film, not because he was in it. I think it's a Disney movie. People would have gone to see it anyway. Especially after the major success of Little Mermaid, Rescuers Down Under, and Beauty and the Beast, so it's like, they would have come to see this, like, Williams or no.
Okay, so... Funny, we're watching this because in a couple weeks they're going to release Once Upon a Studio, the short celebrating 100 years of Disney, and they're going to be using they got permission to use archival recordings of Robin Williams that were unused for this movie.
Yeah. Now, whether or not Williams himself would have agreed, that's an entirely different story altogether.
And, you know, it's the same thing they did with Paul Newman in Cars 3.
True. And Don Rickles' family made that case for Toy Story 4. But I mean, that was a very recent.
It's better. I mean, it was better than the AI voice generated that's also suggested these days.
Ugh. And here's a song for ya.
Howard Ashman again.
Yep.
He really learned from horrors with your I can make your wish come true song.
It's absolutely amazing. Much
This
like
is a nice guy.
Much like Little Shop of Horrors, he was originally like in the demo, like playing it up like Fat Swaller meets Cab Calloway and writing it as though a black singer would have been performing it. And, well, on that testament to Howard Ashman maybe not being the most sensitive to that sort of thing, the last lyric is actually, what will your orders be? I love my job, you big nabob. So it's like, So I can definitely see why they changed it. I can definitely see why they changed it, especially because it fits the Genie's character more to bury the lead on, like, oh, maybe he's not too pleased with this job. He's just, I mean, this song is about the Genie's wants and desires, though, because he wants to be out of the lamp, and now he's able to put on a show for someone. Like, it's been so long.
Because it's part of the gig.
Yeah,
it's part of the gig.
It's part of the gig, but, like, now he...
I don't even know what that's supposed to be. I mean, what's with even the red dots on the forehead? That doesn't make any sense culturally wise.
Woof. Maybe they were imported. I'll see myself out.
It's just movies.
And that's a great animation right there. Actually, if Aladdin looks a little weird in some of these shots, it's because these were some of the first animations of Aladdin ever done for the movie, and they were using a different design of Aladdin. So they had to make subtle adjustments to the animation that was already done in the cleanup process in order to make him match the design they finally went with. So they didn't actually redo the animation, they just, painted over it differently. And when he's really distant like that, you wouldn't even notice.
I'll give Will Smith this much credit. He didn't try too hard to be like Robin Williams.
Honestly, I think
he went with his own flair.
Honestly, I think that's to be debated. I mean, yes, in the speaking role, he went with his own thing, but in the singing, not so much.
I'm a genie of the lamp.
Okay, there's that, but the end credits version's a better Will Smith version. Peter Lorre. Also,
they really keep this consistent about Aladdin. He's a sweet talker.
This is great. Yeah.
God, yes, the character animation on just everybody here is brilliant.
This isn't the first time we've seen his legs, but it's the most prominent because of just the big foot coming down.
Yes.
You can imagine seeing that on the big screen, just like, boom,
So the reason that this movie did not get nominated for the Oscar for Best Screenplay was because of Robin Williams' improvisations. Didn't make it an original screenplay.
Well, shit.
I mean, it's what you love it.
Honestly, you definitely... Yeah.
Look, I think you'd like the Once Upon a Time origin of Jafar. That he was the Sultan's... I don't know about this. That it would have been this Sultan or the Sultan before him, but he was the Sultan's illegitimate son. And that explains his power hungriness so much. It's a better backstory.
Look at that freaking lip. I love that lip so much. Kind of makes him...
No, Sultan... You're not a bad guy, but you're just a little too...
between the shoulder pads and the shroud on the side coming out of the bottom of his turban, and the lip, he already looks like a snake. So we're really already setting up that imagery for when he finally turns into a snake. actually testament there is that the actors like Scott Wagner and Robin Williams, and I guess in this case Jonathan Freeman and Iago, were in the same recording booth recording together, so they're actually able to play off each other in real time. So when he calls out Iago's chump husband, it may have been an ad-lib by Gottfried that Jonathan Freeman played off of, which ought to be a testament to both of them as comic and character actors.
Yeah. And this is what I love about Iago as a villain sidekick, that Jafar actually takes his opinions into account.
But like,
see, that's what I mean. They're like equally evil, at least in the first movie.
that is true. You know, I would have loved if the subtitles in any version would have just played the pun and said how his foul little mind works. I'll see myself out. It's Mufasa. Anyway.
No. Remember, we're in the Middle East.
That is ingenious.
I'll admit, there are some things that just only work in animation.
Yeah. Because, like, the genie being able to transform and all that shit. And this right here.
Every, like, 5 seconds, too.
Okay, I want to say this right now. The live-action version fucked up by having him say what his wish was before this.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, when Aladdin asks, the whole point is that it's supposed to be this whole emotional moment. And it's, like, intercut with Robin Williams' great improvisational comedy. But that's the thing. Comedy breaks down barriers. It's just...
No, what was great about Robin Williams is that, you know, he is a comedic actor, but he also knew when to be serious. There's a reason he won that Oscar in Good Will Hunting, which was probably one of his more serious roles. Yeah, you got the humor and you got the warmth in Genie.
What's really great is what's even great is you can hear Robin Williams go boo, and the guys in the recording booth are like, what exactly is he doing? The recording engineer's like, what is that? Eric Goldberg, like, being like he was sitting there in the booth watching Williams and getting his mannerisms, was like, that was Pinocchio. He was doing Pinocchio. So he asked for permission because we own the character, right? And so that's why he turns his head into Pinocchio here.
You know, our last three fairy tale movies are like, you just have these sidekicks helping to play matchmaker.
Pretty much, yeah.
Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin.
Yeah. Love. That's just such a quick visual gag with the French.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I remember Musker and Clements did the Little Mermaid, and there you go.
And they would eventually do Aladdin, so I mean Hercules. So foreshadowing, perhaps.
That's right.
With the Caesar thing.
I mean, the theory that this actually does take place in the future. Let's say in 3rd century.
Honestly, what's really funny is like they're very much doing the straightforward, like just because he's blue, just transform his face into a caricature of like whoever he's impersonating. And then like, but with like, even Iago got like the, you know, Papa and Little Woman when they're drawing him like that. Love this like big suit looking thing.
I like going with the theory that this takes place in the future, because how else can he make all these references?
I personally think it's just because of... Honestly, I think it's because of that whole irreverent, cartoony aspect. It's like, if the Looney Tunes did, like... And the Looney Tunes have The Looney Tunes have done cartoons set in Arabia or like in ye old fantasy Europe. It's like they've done that, and all of the modern dumb jokes that they would do, despite the era. There's the
Okay,
Beast.
so we got the Beast.
Dumbo's
Now
in
there was
there.
someone else on there. I forget. Yeah, Dumbo.
Yes, he did say Dumbo when transforming into an elephant.
Okay, so we're gonna get a little animation error here, and there's nothing you could say that can make this better. He's reading left to right. If he was to be reading in Arabic, it would be right to left.
Okay, that's not an animation
Unless we
error.
want to go with the theory.
Again,
That's a factual error.
Yeah, that's just a simple like this movie is being made by Americans for Americans, and they know that we read left to right. So it's like, yeah, that's how they're reading.
Unless we want to go with this is in the future and at some point, I don't know, Arabic flipped.
No, again, because I really think that it's the anachronistic cartoon energy of this movie. I mean, it's like it's trying to. It's like the Pixar theory. You're adding way too much logic to things. Just have fun with the movie on its own terms.
I like looking at conspiracy theories though, because it gets so wild. Oh, I love this bit. Maybe this is another reason he needed the lamp.
It's such a good line. I wonder if that was
Maybe
written.
that's another reason he needs the lamp,
Was that-
because he doesn't have complete control.
I do wonder, was that written in the script or did he make that up? Because this movie is so funny, even outside of the animation. The animation is hilarious. Is it just me or
Now,
does
the Genie
human?
did not need to do all this.
Does
but
the
I
Genie
guess he's
with
just a
human
showman,
skin
and it's
color
like,
just look
we're
really
gonna go all
weird?
out.
Like, I don't even know if like picking a different skin color would have worked or not. It's like it just looks weird, you know?
Yeah, this number did not work in the live action because they slowed everything down.
They slowed it all down. And they didn't even use the Broadway lyrics. I love the lyrics. He once slew 70 Turks, mustaches, sabers, real jerks. Just bring that back. Actually, to add to those anachronisms, again, this lyric right here. And honestly, I don't like Friday Salam, Sunday Salam. It's alliteration. It's like you have rhythms and patterns and
we're not Christian
lyrics.
though.
We're not Christian.
There's
We're
no
an
Christian here.
we're an anachronistic Looney Tunes Arabia. That's where we are.
The fact that they didn't change that either in any iterations is a little disappointing.
Aside from the live action movie, they changed it. But like,
Oh yeah, you're right.
The reason they don't change
I forgot.
the reason they don't change it in other versions is because the Genie in pretty much every version is a time traveling comical character. He knows things that the characters don't.
I do like how they change this a little bit in the Broadway, where James Iglehart the one going, never boring, everything about the man just plain impressive. It's funny.
That's really cool. Love the monkey dance from the guards there. You know, say what you will about putting that in a lyric, like he has slaves and servants and flunkies, but it's like, I don't know. Isn't it more
time-wise accurate?
Yeah, isn't it more dishonest to simply change it to 10,000 servants and flunkies? It's like, it's just dishonest. I love Iago
The
just.
princess was hot. Where is she? Know why I like Will Smith just saying, "Yes, heard your
Honestly,
princess was hot."
he was pretty good in some of his bits. I just think, like, Friend Like Me could have just used the end credits version where he was just rapping the whole thing, you know?
Yeah, in that one, there might have been a bit too much pressure.
Yeah, way too much. But yeah.
Okay, so yes, he does lie and pretend here. But the point of this movie is that it doesn't work.
Yep.
That's what people miss. Is like, it didn't work. Oh God. culturally inaccurate. I still can't hate this movie. It just
That's the thing. That's the thing. It's like there is
I
like
can't help but love the characters. That's the thing.
it's like the movie is not such a horrible affront to culture or like religion, no matter how pretty much disrespectful it is on all those fronts. The fact is that the story is good, the characters are good, the animation's amazing. I love this moment.
Yeah. Well, remember this was like the '90s when there was already tension from
Yeah.
stuff in the Middle East.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, even Animaniacs, which basically premiered in 1992, and they eventually, like, they had a couple of jokes about Saddam Hussein, so, yeah, it's not, yeah, the 90s in animation was not, yeah. So at least for this movie to be at least, like, have an all Arab, like, cast animation-wise, you know what I mean? Like, all the animated characters, like, there's no white character in animation here. It's like, say what you will about...
judge of character. Ugh.
Again, they're all comedy characters. The way he just zips in there with that rubber balloon stretching sound effect. It's just so fucking funny. And... the beard.
You see, Aladdin, you learn that this whole facade of yours is just not going to work on her.
I love how all of them are just sheepish about it. Just like, yeah.
Yes.
Even
Like,
Jafar was like,
deciding things for me.
I love how, because Jafar is still limited on information, he completely buys the whole Prince Ali thing. Because he thinks because the thing is that Jafar thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, he just isn't. Also, this is a great bit.
At least we've explained the genie magic of why no one recognizes him.
That's the thing, you didn't need that in Cinderella, and Cinderella kind of went with the angle that she did recognize him. And, that's the thing, though, like...
What I've been telling you all this time, how it should have ended. Tell her the truth.
That's the thing, like, the explanation in the live-action film of, like, genie magic hiding you is, like, even in the movie they call out, but Jasmine recognized me. So it's like, no, you tried fixing something that didn't need fixing. Ugh.
Yeah. Yes, like,
Oh, wait, hang on. I gotta say something here.
The vampire thing?
Like a vampire with a day pass.
That's what it was called. Yeah. I remember
that was a really...
that, and Scott... And then
Scott Wagner just busted out laughing.
Okay, anyway, yes, women do love a man that can make her laugh. Case in point.
Oh, thank you.
Now, see, Anissa learns every time he acts like this, she's like, no.
Yeah. They okay, in my edit here, they completely edited it. Yeah, that's right. Take off the hat. That's also why Jafar didn't recognize him, because his hat's been on the whole time.
Yes, but they're not that dumb, are they?
No, see, nobody's dumb. That's the thing. It's not about being dumb.
Or maybe because he's cleaned up, I don't know.
I mean, he sure has cleaned up. Actually, the thing is, the live action... Actually, that is one thing I like that the live action movie did. Like, when he's not cleaned up as a prince, Aladdin has a stubble. He has facial hair. And honestly, it looks good on him. I love how Genie knows what's... I love how Genie knows what's going on here. He saw this coming.
What? I did really miss her sass.
That's the thing. What she may not have
She's
had.
definitely one of the She's one of the sassiest Disney princesses.
Yeah, here's the other thing. Aside from marrying because she loves someone, even Raja's like, for a minute, it's like, oh, maybe we were too hard on him. Love that. See, in your terms of animation errors, that's a continuity error where he was much lower down on the carpet there. It's like, it's an animation thing. They just keep the characters where they fit in the frame. There it is. And then that knowing look.
Yes.
And here's the thing. This is a whole new world right here.
Yeah.
It's this big,
Ooh,
it's this big swell of the orchestra, right? But every other version, even the live action version, even the Broadway version, plays it off as a ballad. But no, she's finally getting to experience a whole new world.
I mean, I can kind of understand where you need a little different kind of leading instrumental to get the actors on the carpet on stage.
The thing is that
I guess
you could still have the music swell as they disappear and then have like a big ta-da in the orchestra when they finally appear flying around, and then soften it up. Because now that we're up in the sky, it makes sense. But we're underscored the whole time.
The album version has the lead in you're talking about.
Yeah, no, the album version does. But the thing is, like... And the thing is, everything bases itself, even the live-action movie bases itself off of the album version. But no, you need to take
you can
off.
hear reflection in her voice.
A little bit, yeah.
This is Mulan's singing voice.
Yeah. But here's the skinny here, right? Like, Tim Rice actually isn't a bad matchup for Howard Ashman. Just listen to all of this. Unbelievable sights,
I mean,
indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling for me. It's List, the song. Beef ragu, cheese souffle, pie and pudding.
Yes. I mean, there's a reason Tim Rice was brought on to songs in the Beauty and the Beast Broadway show.
That's true. That's true.
And then we'll see Tim Rice again.
He comes back for like
in the Lion
Hercules, right? Ooh. I think they forgot to color in Aladdin's gem for a second there.
He comes back with a different composer in Lion King.
Tim Rice worked on the yeah, I guess Tim Rice did do the lyrics with Elton John.
Yes.
How's that for a triple threat? Tim Rice on lyrics. He even did the Apple thing and she noticed. Love that.
Now, Alan Menken goes through quite a few different partners as we'll go along.
Yeah.
Some of them who would do their own things that would get famous. Well, we'll get there.
I forget who did the lyrics in Hercules. I could have sworn it was Tim Rice.
I believe that was no David Zippel.
Hey, speaking of Mulan.
I know, like even this entire sequence was predicting
even the whole dragon
Hercules
puppet
and Mulan.
Yep.
No wonder.
I mean, actually,
considering Hercules Aladdin.
Considering the pipeline of animated movies, it could be their version of like having the books of Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland in Pinocchio in the opening, where it's like, oh, we're teasing the movies that we're gonna give you.
Right.
This
face.
I love
this face.
that face. Again, what other Disney princess would be allowed to have a face that funny? Just like, I'm waiting. Just tell me.
His feather droops.
Yeah, because he's a filthy, rotten liar.
Aladdin, that's a big gaslighting. I'm sorry.
That is gaslighting. Yeah, no, legit. If we want to complain about anything,
yeah,
Beauty and the Beast is not Stockholm Syndrome, but that play there was gaslighting.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
Like I said, their relationship doesn't start as the healthiest. At least, I mean, neither of them really openly communicate.
Neither of them know each other initially.
I know it like doesn't start out healthy, but as we get along with the sequels and the spin-off, they make such a great team.
I love the TV show. The TV show is so great. And I wish it was on Disney Plus. I know why it's not, because it's probably, in many ways, just as culturally insensitive as this movie. But goddamn it, just put it on! I love the Aladdin show.
It's, you know, it's like...
It's really good. It's a really good show.
Like, another couple they remind me of is Rapunzel and Flynn Rider.
Just being kind of opposites and from completely different worlds. Licensing issues!
But they're also on the same wavelength.
That's true. That's true. Here we go.
That's what you get for flying your carpet to the ground like that, like an idiot.
They fucking tied up the elephant.
I mean, give the guards credit for tying up an elephant.
Well, to be fair, Blue Heart, Aladdin 2 wasn't originally gonna be a movie. It was the first 3 episodes of the TV show.
I mean, most of the reason to watch that Aladdin is so you can understand some of the TV show and also
why Iago's
to know
a friend.
Why Iago's with them, yes.
And, like, not stuck in a lamp.
That's why I always loved Iago.
Actually, I also love...
pretty much one...
Also, I know we really should be talking about...
Iago was, like, one of Disney's first reformed villains. Well, reformed, I put in quotation marks. He was kind of on a bumpy road
He was an anti-hero for a while there. He had his own motives, but he wasn't a bad guy anymore.
You know, he was like, he's like Discord. Discord kind of went back and forth and really more like a chaotic neutral.
Good lord. I want to say that Aladdin is partially conscious right now, just so that he knows that he lost a wish. What is he doing?
I was trying to understand that from the little German I know. I couldn't understand it.
Is he Jean Cousteau? I think he's doing Jean Cousteau.
No, he's Jean Cousteau. Isn't Jean Cousteau French?
Huh. Oh, you're right.
I would have kissed you on the mouth, but I don't find you that attractive.
Would have given you mouth to mouth, but I don't find you that attractive.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't remember the full line. I love her hair down. So pretty.
It is.
What is with me and hair in these movies?
Her hair is really well drawn. Good lord. What a bastard.
I know I won't be speechless. You know, that's where they got the thing from.
I think I know what he was actually going to say there.
We can't say that. We can't G-rated. Yeah, we can't say that in a G-rated movie.
I mean, once upon a time you could, just not the time this movie came out.
No, I could just like go through Gilbert's process, you know.
Love that moment where it's just like, again, Aladdin and Jasmine are really observant. And Jafar really only notices what's in front of him, which is, well, the lamp.
Oh, hi, guards. Where you been this whole time?
And Aladdin doesn't realize why Jafar called him boy there. Because he doesn't recognize that Jafar's the creepy old man that took him to the Cave of Wonders. I love this moment of realization. Oh, yeah, God, that face is also really cute.
You know, one thing you gotta admire about the Sultan, he was like pressuring his daughter to get married, but he still wanted if she actually liked.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, if he was really that strict father, he would have just
Sultan,
chosen anybody.
Sultan, what do you mean by prosperous, Sultan? Seriously, a G-rated movie where the dad is really
unimpeachable.
I want to see my grandchildren before I go.
Oh, here we come.
Love this moment.
Here we go. Now, this was the improvised line that made Robin Williams laugh. And
How
Jonathan
about this
Freeman
picture? I think I'm making a weird face in it. Also, the guns, the weapons, the knives. What weapons do you have other than guns and knives?
Okay, so would you say Jafar is the most insane of the Disney villains?
I'd say he's definitely the most clever, and he has the most, and he has the biggest
When
down.
I say insane, I mean like maniacal. Just with
Well, I'd say that he has like, I think he'd say he has like a mental breakdown that's pretty intense. So yeah, I'd say he's the most insane of the Disney villains. He goes off the
I
edge
love when-
so hard.
I love when he meets Hades, and
Oh.
Hades like, what's with the laugh? Right? Like even Hades thinks it's too much.
That's funny because like Hades did laugh, but he never did the big maniacal laugh. But look how he has the script for Aladdin.
You know, we don't even need to know Jafar's backstory. We've seen the Sultan. The Sultan's kind of childish. I'd want to take over the world too.
But he's not a fool.
Yeah,
He's
but
just-
he does believe creepy visor guy. Vizier guy.
He's naive, but he's not a fool. It's like he doesn't know all the ongoings in his kingdom even. Like, does he even know, like, the kind of shit going on in the marketplace on a regular basis?
Seen the deleted scene of this? When you know,
Yeah.
back when it was the mom was still there and there was still multiple wishes.
Yeah.
It's like, so when are you gonna wish me free? Well, you know, Jasmine's gonna need a palace, and you know, we're gonna need a kingdom, and you know, I just want to stick around a little more. Like, okay, but for how long?
Yeah.
Yeah, they really changed Aladdin's character after Howard Ashman's death. I wonder how this would have looked if Howard Ashman had lived, though.
You do wonder.
I don't know. Maybe some things happen for a reason, as much as I hate to say it.
It's one of those lightning in a bottle things, right? Like, the Genie wouldn't have been voiced by Robin Williams. He wrote the Genie to be a Cab Calloway, Fats Waller type singer character. So it's like, they wouldn't have had Robin Williams otherwise.
Can you imagine this without Robin Williams?
Imagine
though?
this without Gilbert Gottfried!
Oh boy. I think he was going to be like another Jafarish, like an English guy. You seen the deleted song "Humiliates the Boy"? Iago was also English and posh.
Honestly, Jonathan Freeman is still alive. I would love if they human agained this movie, but put in the song Why Me. That would be amazing.
Why Me actually was used, not in the Broadway, but in the Disney Junior adaptation. I saw it when the people put it on. Unfortunately, as this was in Europe, we didn't have a whole lot of kids who would fit the ethnic bill. I don't know why my teacher showed that play.
Again, his fucking lip. I love Jafar's lips. My god. It's a magical costume change.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Oh.
I mean, Jafar, Jafar does kind of reward Iago by really having him at his right hand.
Yeah, it looks like he's his royal vizier.
Yeah.
Hey, Wilhelm. Thank you, Wilhelm. Also, I love how just deadpan this delivery is. I just love how straight that delivery is.
What kind of
So,
underwear is that, though?
it's that kind of anachronistic cartoon underwear. That's what it is. It's like the...
It's on the Sultan. The Sultan was about to do the bowing too. He's
know,
like, nope, right.
The Sultan kind of looks like Maurice a little bit.
Yeah,
Doesn't he?
does. It's,
So
yeah.
so he does have that silly little old man vibe. Very different character though. Like the Sultan is definitely much more like soft and a little bit passive and submissive. Like you said, he was about to bow there. Whereas Maurice is a bit more of a Maurice is a bit more of a fighter.
We have all these short, chubby, white-haired, bearded / mustache dads. What is with this in Disney?
I think it's because it's the most friendly and kind looking. It's the Santa Claus effect is what it is.
Yes. I mean, I think the earlier, unless there's something earlier I'm forgetting about, but like from ever since Cinderella.
Yeah.
It is kind of sad that Jafar's villain song is like 1 minute long.
But at least he gets it. And I love how it becomes...
At least he gets another song in the Broadway.
Yeah.
If you listen to this and the Broadway version, it's like almost identical because it's the same
It's Jonathan
guy.
Freeman, right?
I mean, there's probably just a slightly different inflection because of stage performance, but...
Yeah.
Yes.
But my god.
But this laugh. I don't know any Disney villain with a better...
I mean, you could say Vincent Price as Ratigan, but that would be cheating. Because Vincent Price just has a good evil laugh, period.
Yeah, I mean, he has a good evil laugh, but Jonathan Freeman goes all... Just a whole other octave.
He's just screeching at that point. He's amazing. The Sultan's actor did play Santa in Order to Save Christmas. That is True Squad. No.
Yes, you dummy pants. But then we wouldn't have a movie. You know? Yeah, if these characters were perfect, we wouldn't have movies at all.
You know, here's the thing. I'm gonna...
If they were perfect, we'd have Mary Stu's.
Yeah, here's the fun...
Stu's.
Here's the thing for me. It's like, somebody says like, well, how doesn't anyone recognize anyone? It's like, okay, well, fuck you. I'm gonna write a story specifically where the characters don't necessarily recognize what may be obvious to the audience, because the thing... And I won't explain why. Because... you should know that when you are in that position, you won't recognize anything for shit. You won't think to write to someone... You won't think to recognize someone who isn't there because you don't expect to see them there. You won't write your name when you don't have a voice because you didn't think of it. These are the things that just happen, okay? My mind is on other things right now.
Okay, Blue Heart, I wasn't talking about villains. I was talking about Disney villains specifically. Oh boy, and here's the outfit that Jasmine's infamous for.
This is Jasmine's Leia slave outfit, essentially. It's the one that gets cosplayed a lot, but, like, also has a very gross and,
gross connotation.
It has a gross male gaze connotation, specifically. Like, Jafar put her in this outfit specifically. Jabba put Leia in that outfit specifically. It's like, guys.
I mean, at least with her blue outfit, well, it's about just as revealing. Like, it's hot outside. Like, and, you know, women should be allowed to show their skin when it's extremely hot out.
Crackerjack from Darkwing Duck would count, yeah. As a Disney villain.
Okay, now this scene is kind of inspired by, well, not his name wasn't Jafar, but the villain's original fate in the story. So in the original story, the woman, you know, kidnaps the princess. Now he has a lamp, but then she seduces him to get the lamp back and also poison him.
So Good lord.
Give props to Jasmine for this. Like, okay, I'm in this outfit. I am in this situation. Let me take advantage of it. Eyebrows.
Love the
You're a
animation.
psychopath.
Love the animation on Senior Psychopath.
Oh my god.
She's just making shit up.
And your fear. Oh god.
The way she's
This is what
the
this
way
is
she's
why
drawing
I still love Jasmine.
the way she's drawing Aladdin closer, just also what's really great is like you notice that like Jasmine's pained like Ali when she realizes that Aladdin was lying a second time, and it's like but it's like now it's like, well, now the first lie begets another lie that then ultimately begets that the whole lie is that, well, ultimately, yes, I was the street rat. The whole time, the street rat. The street rat was the only thing. But she's basically forgiven him up to this point. She's had enough time, like, when Aladdin was basically about to die, and then he comes back to forgive him in her own mind's eye. And we get that, like, with her like loving look when he's there to save the day. And of course the moment like
Anyway.
moment at the end there. Oh god.
Don't toy.
Imagine if that was the Happy Meal toy. Wouldn't that have been fucked up? A kid gets the Happy Meal toy, but wind up a boo. It's like, oh, this is so cute. And then they see it in the movie and they're like, oh my god.
You made me forget what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Oh yes, Jasmine is, I think, still to this day, the only Disney princess to kiss a Disney villain.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because not even Anna got to kiss.
See,
Hans.
even look, the lip sort of gave way to this snake form a little bit. Also, I just love the fucking scale on this thing. Just the.
I got the Disney emoji of this.
I love the other takes that are like, push him back, Jafarther, or give me a P, give me a P, give me a B, 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 P, B, B, B. What's that spell? Also, another Disney villain to draw blood, or another Disney character to draw blood, really.
We didn't really see the blood, though.
And we saw it for a little bit when he initially stabbed him. Which, for a giant reptilian beast, would be like... The last time that happened would have been like... Maleficent back in Sleeping Beauty when she was a dragon, and we see the blood when the sword goes in. I think that's the most Robin Williams has sounded this whole movie. You know, just like his normal voice. Like, the rest of the time he's been playing a character or doing an impression.
And they did not do this scene right in the live action at
They
all.
did not!
It's
like making the wish vague. No, it has to be a specific wish that calls back to everything from before.
Even aside from that, the transformation was just so underwhelming.
Well, the only way to do it right is like this. And there it is.
Like, oh, come on.
I love this bit of like putting like breadcrumbs in front of the audience without fully spelling it out. Like Iago being like, Jafar, could you hurry up? I'm dying in here. And then showing the lamp before the gimme, you know? It's like the audience is being fed the information before it's truly being like let out, you know?
No.
And it's great. And there it is.
And so unlike the last several movies, That villain does not die in the end. Here.
He doesn't
The
die.
first
Yeah.
I mean, when's the last time that happened? Probably,
You know,
Fox and the Hound didn't really have an official villain, so, I guess Rescuers? The first one?
the first Rescuers, yeah, the villain didn't die.
Well, it was implied she probably did, but we didn't actually see her die.
If you didn't see him die, they didn't die.
Versus all
The
the
Joker always comes back.
Versus the falling off a cliff. Yeah.
Aww.
Versus the falling off the cliff and all that. Okay, anyway. She said, yes, I know why you lied.
Yeah.
Aww.
I love the scale. I love it.
And Genie was even willing to give this up.
You can even see his pupils go small when he thinks on that thought for a minute. Oh.
Oh, she really does. Just that soft what?
Yeah.
See, because Robin Williams knows when to be serious.
Yeah. That's the...
Knew when to be serious.
And... Yes. Okay. Here's the thing, right? The TV series and the sequels drew him with the cuffs on. You meet him at the Disney parks, he still has the cuffs on. He really should just not have the cuffs anymore. Because it's something that you really should get used to.
The only reason they did it was because it just looked better.
It's not that it looks better. Because, like, the thing is that, like, his color palette does fine. You know? With the blue and red. And the little gold shoes.
Yes, bud. Ain't it great to know somebody's got your back?
God. Did you see the artist who drew the Genie hugging Robin Williams?
Oh. Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. This
really...
is where he comes through. I loved... Okay, so in the elementary show I watched, and I think the kid forgot his line. He just said, well, am I Sultan or not? I think he just forgot his line and then just went on what he thought it was. But everyone laughed, so I guess it worked out.
So this outfit is a reference to a special that they did at Disney MGM Studios. And Robin Williams was basically wearing this outfit with the Hawaiian shirt and the goofy hat. In fact, wouldn't it be great if when you meet Genie at Disney parks, he was wearing that? Just no cuffs, just wear the big yellow, like, goofy... the goofy hat and the golf clubs and all that. That would have been fun. Yeah. That would be cute.
And so it goes, short and sweet. They were wed down the street. Doing just what they all do best.
Is that from the Broadway show?
Just in time, and for them, no more crime. And as for Genie, a well-earned rest.
I love how you actually see the animation number on the cell.
It is from the Broadway show, but also is taken from the original finale idea when it was to be revealed that Genie was the merchant.
Yeah. I mean, there was a shorter version of that ending that you could find on YouTube, where it's like, so
they were wed down the street with.
No, I mean like a shorter version of that of this ending, where it's like they fly off, and it's like, so are you sure you don't? So now, do you still want to buy this lamp? After all, it's not always what it seems. Something like that. And here it is.
Yeah, Glenn Keane.
Scott Wagner, Glenn Keane is the lead animator. Robin Williams and Eric Goldberg, and my God, I loved watching the animators' commentary on this movie, because you would hear like Eric Goldberg singing nothing but praises of the other animators who also animated the Genie when their shots came up. Man.
And now we have People Bryson again.
Yep. Effects animators. God, shout out to
Mark
Mark Dindal!
Dindal!
Give some shout out to these people because the magic was great here. The cleanup animation. Oh, God, what a bunch of people on that. Assistants, the breakdowns, in-betweener. Woof, man, that's a lot. And the thing is with a 2D animated movie, the reason you have a lead animator, right, is because you want to keep the character design consistent, but even when different animators are, you know, working on these characters.
So yeah, they definitely took some liberties from the original story. Well, I think in some places, that whole bathhouse thing and sneaking her to sleep under your blanket and then get her to not be able to say what happened to her is pretty messed up.
I know that Aladdin has a lamp and a ring, and maybe even multiple wishes from both of the genies, or at least one of the genies.
I can understand
why you
about
would...
the other genie, just for stories and characters' sake. It's like, why
and
do
the
you need
Florida
two
unit.
That's a weird one.
Speaking of Disney MGM Studio, or I guess Disney Hollywood Studio theme park in Florida. Yeah.
Like, the only reason the Genie of the Ring, I think, exists is just because when he loses the lamp, then he still got the ring. And I'm like, okay.
But why?
You should see the... Okay, we were talking about Mufasa. It's funny you should mention that. There's a TV version of Aladdin where James Earl Jones is the Genie. Mind you, the rest of the cast is completely whitewashed, but
well,
it's worth it seeing that.
And our Pixar guys.
This was in the 80s, so... Yeah. Like I said, once we got to the 90s, we pretended to be, I wanted to be politically correct, but we actually weren't.
Yeah.
The 90s was a crazy time.
Try as they will and try as they might.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with showing women and revealing clothing, but it was an unfortunate trend that every time we got a character of color in animation in the 90s and the early 2000s, they were just heavily sexualized.
Yeah. One thing you can...
Not just Disney, but like DreamWorks, and I'm trying to think of another example of the time.
It's really interesting. They only credited Howard Ashman with the lyrics of Prince Ali when, as I mentioned, one of the lyrics was changed. So did Tim Rice just go uncredited for those changes, or?
Oh, I see Corey Burton in the additional voice there.
Yeah. Or is it perhaps simply CAPS supervisors for the special edition,
Yes.
which is just keeping everything
people
clean.
Are asking what's next.
Well, next is Lion King.
And then after that is Pocahontas.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this was culturally inaccurate. At least this was not based on an actual events.
Yeah, but at least it's this cultural inaccurate thing for the Lion King is more so just... I mean, we're not even centered around humans. We're centered around lions. Oh.
And like I said... Oh... Why is this making me sad now? I can't watch anything with Robin Williams anymore without thinking about how he died.
Yeah. Well,
why? I can't even watch this without...
That is Aladdin. Live action version may be more culturally sensitive or whatever, as why it doesn't get the warning on Disney Plus. But
slightly more.
God damn it. This movie is more fun. It's a cartoon. It's manic energy. It's anachronisms. It's the genie holding the script for the movie in his hand while he's telling Aladdin what his line is. It's the silly goofiness. It's just so much fun. And all the characters get to be comedy. Jafar gets to zip around with cartoonish energy. Jasmine gets to have some really funny facial expressions. And the animation, like I said, oh my god, Eric Goldberg basically made this movie with the line weights and using that Hirschfeld ink brush style to make the line art look the way it did. It's like it would go on to influence the Rhapsody in Blue sequence, or even Hercules, like, more recently, like, more closely. It's like, it's just so friggin' pretty, guys. It's such a pretty movie.
Fizzy's asking if we're skipping Pocahontas. No.
Nope.
Look, if we didn't skip this, if you didn't skip the Three Caballeros and all that,
we didn't skip anything. Look, we didn't skip Peter Pan, did we? We did not. We didn't skip Peter Pan.
You didn't skip Dumbo.
We didn't skip Dumbo. We didn't skip Peter Pan. We didn't skip Lady and the Tramp. We ain't skipping shit. We're doing everything. Cultural insensitivities be damned. Sometimes movies can be good while they have problems. And while this movie's problems are front and center, it's still a good movie. The cast is great, the animation's great, the musical structure and the songs are spectacular. And honestly, I always do it in my head with
there's a reason this won 2 Oscars for its music.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, I want to say what Blue Heart's saying. I still love this movie for its humor, animation, and characters. Genie is the one character I can relate to as a kid and constantly say quotes and references nobody understands. Yes. Honestly...
You know, aside from... When we get to Pocahontas, I'm going to be trashing on it, not just for the cultural insensitivity, historical inaccuracies.
Hey, honey, me too. I think we're going to be brothers in arms in this one in terms of like, oh, we're going to trash this movie. We're going to trash on this movie.
I mean, I'm connected to that movie at least by association in some way because the singing voice of Pocahontas went to high school with my dad.
Oh, that's interesting.
And she is a great singer. And yes, people are saying Pocahontas has really good music. Yes, there was no doubt about that because it's freaking Alan Menken. You can give him a commercial jingle. He'll make it the best commercial jingle ever. But
so on the topic of like what Blue Heart was saying, like Robin Williams, like Disney did Robin dirty by advertising him so heavily in this movie when he literally took a pay cut because he didn't want this movie releasing at the same time as his passion project film to overshadow it just because he was in it. He didn't want 2 of his own movies essentially competing. He wanted people to see Aladdin because they thought it was the better film, not because he was in it. So they did him dirty.
And you could blame Jeffrey Katzenberg for that.
And even if you didn't, and that's why I used the poster that I did in the DVD cover on the thumbnail here, because even the first poster that doesn't like do Genie all big in front and center still puts Genie in like a quarter, 25% of the poster on the top bar of the poster. So he's like noticeable and up front. Cheeky bastards. I mean, obviously Disney eventually made amends, so Robin Williams did come back for the fucking, he came back for educational video games and the King of Thieves movie to round things out, and
I played that video game, the map one. We played it in my computer class in school back when we had computer classes.
Actually, on the topic of Aladdin, the DVD for Aladdin where I got this footage from, actually had Robin Williams' Genie with brand new animation and dialogue from Robin Williams advertising the Make-A-Wish Foundation, which is just beautiful, honestly.
Aww.
He's God.
Okay, anyway, yes,
such a kind soul.
It was Katzenberg, definitely, because actually, that is what convinced him to come back for the third movie. Like, oh, we fired Katzenberg.
They not only fired Katzenberg, but the person who took Katzenberg's job made a big fat public apology to him. They originally tried to curry favor while Katzenberg was still with them by giving them like a Picasso that was valued at some stupid amount of money, and he was still like not satisfied because the money wasn't the problem, it was the principle. It's like don't put him in a bunch of Burger King toys, don't put him in all the advertisements. They did it anyway. Like they put him in
advertisements third movie to say that he was back.
I mean, for the third movie, yeah. You know, Dan Castellaneta wasn't too bad, and give some do give some credit to Dan Castellaneta in the Aladdin TV show and such, for the fact that not only did he have to try to match like the kind of impressions that Robin Williams would do, but that also between him and probably the script writers, the Genie still has a lot of funny moments in the TV show, which is another reason why it's so disappointing that it's not on Disney Plus. They get those.
Yeah,
didn't they get a lot of those
know-
licensing issues fixed for like at least most of the Muppet Show? They can do it for Aladdin too.
It might also be one of the cultural stuff. Who knows? Anyway, also it's very interesting how, considering they have gotten some other actors to like Alan Tudyk as a Mad Hatter for Once Upon a Studio, that they didn't think to bring Dan Castellaneta. I can never say his name.
Dan Castellaneta. You know, honestly, I don't even think they should go with Homer Simpson because they actually found a Robin Williams impersonator who actually sounds shockingly like Robin Williams.
Yes,
he
but
redubbed
they didn't
like
think to do that.
he even redubbed the Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, like Dan Castellaneta came back for Kingdom Hearts, but he was also redubbed by the Robin Williams impersonator. I forget his name. But like he's a pretty good match. I don't know if he'd be able to do all the wacky impressions, but you know.
I don't know. But the fact, yes, but they didn't do that. They didn't do that for Once Upon a Studio. They just used the unused recordings of Robin Williams as the Genie, and there's a lot of them.
I mean, sure, there's a lot of them. There are a lot of them.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that short. It should come in a couple of weeks, and funny thing is, instead of having Jim Cummings be Winnie the Pooh and Tigger, they just have Sterling Holloway.
Yeah, I noticed that in the trailer.
And
Paul Winchell.
What?
Paul
God,
Winchell.
why? I must be tired.
Paul
How do I
Winchell?
forget? Yes, Paul Winchell.
Yeah. Yeah.
October 15th. It's airing on the 16th where I am. I don't know.
Disney Plus, yeah. Well, honestly, that's Aladdin. Beautiful. Like, I talked about nothing but the story because honestly, it's such a good movie. I mean, for all the horribly offensive things in it, I gotta defend one of my favorites.
Boy.
It's, you know, it's no
it's
no Pocahontas where it doesn't have a good story to back its cultural insensitivity. So, but we'll get there. In the meantime, we'll settle for Shakespeare in the Savannah.
No. The official title is Hamlet meets Bambi in Africa.
I prefer.
No, really. That's literally what it is.
Personally prefer Shakespeare in the Savannah, not just because I came up with that, because it sounds a lot more.
I guess it is.
It's a lot more pithy.
The first movie is Hamlet. The second movie is Romeo and Juliet. The 1.5 movie is Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that.
Yeah, you even know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking about. All right. So on that note, thank you all so much for joining us. And if you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. Until next time, remember to take care, stay safe, and be kind in all that you do. Good night, everybody!
Bye!